What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another session of Build, Break, and Fix. We are raw coders, and as you can tell, that my co-host isn't here because he's got a bit of his assignment to do, so he's focusing on that. But he said that he will be here in 10 minutes. So uh, at this stage, we'll continue. So yeah, and So just to give a bit of a recap, that yesterday we managed to fix the git merge issue, in which we basically synced the dev branch to the master branch completely, so it's all synced in. Synced with each other. Today, what we're gonna do is we will, I think, insert the note in the DynamoDB. So essentially, when we I give you a bit of a demo, as in, because 1,000 words can be explained in um, explained in what do you call it? One video, one picture. Yeah, cool. Right, so let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen with you quickly. There we go. Share my screen. Ta-da. All right. So I'm just gonna open the project. All right, and CD workspace. All right, and then I'll do Scrambler enhancement. Okay, that's our dev branch there. Yeah, that's exactly what we want, and we'll go ahead and open it up in VS Code. All right. So there we go. And I'm gonna also drink my water as well. Okay, cool. So as you can see, I've done that. So now I'll just open up my Python server, as in local server in simple terms, which is made from Python, I believe. And the reason why I guess it's made from Python is because it uses the Python command. All right. So let's do that. HTTP. Alright, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up in the browser. Let's open the oh, it's already open in my small screen. So just bring the browser there. Okay, home HTML. Oops, I started it off in the wrong one, in the wrong folder. Yeah, I need to go into the client folder and then start the server. Okay, survey started and now it should work. Okay, for the C2, then it should go there, and then the notes are working. All right, so this is what was this is what I was telling you guys, but in plain words. So what I plan to do is I want to write here. Okay, I want to send this text to and insert that in my DynamoDB. So that's what I plan to do now. All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So for that one, let's plan that a bit. I'll open the Jira command. Jira. Actually, coders. No, it's not that one. No. Jira rule coders. I needed the Jira endpoint. Jira Atlassian. Alright, cool. Just do this one. And I'm gonna just log in as well. Access your Jira site. Yeah, that's what I want. And okay, cool. I'm gonna log in with Google. So basically, I'm gonna just create some tasks here first and plan the approach, and then we can continue and to the fun part, which is coding. All right. Awesome. All right. Cool. So I need the Jira software. If this is something, just bear with me for a while. It is peak hours, so my internet is a bit slow, but we'll get there. All right. Actually, what I might do is play a bit of song, as in music in the background as well, and that I can do next time. Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? All right. So for the meanwhile, so paid learning before the response is received. Yes, we have done that. So we will go ahead and close this issue. Done. Okay, and then what we plan to do, make backend talk to. All right, yeah, this is the one that we want again. And fixing override. I'm just gonna update the board as well here. Fixing the overridden code. Yeah, that's done as well. Okay, validation of the API. That is an ongoing one. Um, so now we need to focus on this one. Make the backend talk to the front end, and this has got basically multiple child tasks. So this one is done, posting the board name, which is fine. Posting a note. Yeah, so now we plan to work on this one, posting a note from front end to the back end. All right, so I'm gonna put this into progress. In progress, cool. All right, and front end to back end, and then assign it to myself. All right, get note. All right. Cool. So this is done. Now what we need to do is go back. Actually, let me think how we're gonna do this. So I'll just create a draw.io, an architecture diagram. Do this. So at the moment, let me check what code have I already got. So I have, so get board by name, right? So what I would need actually is a post note, post note in the in the middleware. All right.
Hey yo, how's it going?
Welcome, Karthik. How you doing, mate? Did you
Pretty good.
finish your assignments?
Yes, just uh did that. It was due on 12 tonight, so I
Fan-
was like gonna do
Fantastic.
before
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. True, man. As in, that was a really good decision. So,
Yeah,
good job.
all right. What have we been
Right.
up to?
So, so far I've just updated the Jira because it
Oh yeah.
was a bit, outdated. So I've put these issues as
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then I was I just made the task as in post a note to from the front end to the back end in
Hmm?
progress.
All right.
And now I was as in getting ready to draw the diagram here first.
Right. So
Yeah.
which architecture's diagram are we drawing?
So you know how we drew this diagram, so we wanted to create this functionality, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So what we did was planned the flow of the functionality and then moved for, forward. So I'm doing this part, but for the posting of the notes from the front end to the back end, as in the
Yeah.
database.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
Also,
We
there's
would.
one
Mhm.
more task which relates to adding validation to all the post and get methods.
Yes. Yes. So do you want to do that before or after this?
I think let's continue with this only, as we have
Cool.
kind of already started it, and
Yeah.
that can be
Okay.
done while doing it. So,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm thinking
mhm.
is um we wasn't
Yeah,
I'm just thinking that how to do this. So we would basically get the text only from the note. So which was over here in the
Yep.
script.js.
Yes. I guess how we essentially need to do is that we need to kind of change how post note works. So wait, I'll share my screen. Um, can you please add my screen because I can't.
Ah, yeah.
All right. So post note kind of um let's see, 1 second. Boy, this takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So currently how the post method
Hang on.
works.
Haven't we already done the parsing of the note?
No,
I've got a feeling we've already done it.
that's what Jira is for, so check it.
It's not really in I don't think it's updated in Jira, but just have a look. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, we can go ahead and check master. Um, I'll open it here and we can have a look.
Because I'm pretty sure that we did a bit of a hack on the URL of the post.
Oh yeah.
It's not really anything on
Nope.
Jira. It's
That was here.
in
The
GitHub.
my name.
Hmm?
The hack which you are talking about
Yeah.
was in this one when we did URL plus value.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was for get board by name, not by posting notes. I'm pretty sure we haven't tested at all.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I must have been talking about some other thing.
Yeah. So I kind of want to focus on how it works currently.
Yeah.
So right now, how posting the board works is something along those lines. Um,
Yes, so
mm,
it's around here. So it's
yep.
taking this text.
Yep. So what happens is, so right now, what happens is fine, but I feel like there is a problem with this. As we go ahead, we need to kind of change it. But
Of
let's see if
course.
this works for now. So this is text for note.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, are you sharing? Okay.
Yeah. Is it text for note? Am I writing the right way?
Text for no. Yeah. If it's actually try single note.
All right. Is it how we write it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Yep.
see.
That's the one then.
Okay. Yep. Oh, wait 1 second.
You need to give the no ID.
I'll just get the board. Boy, oh boy. I'll just get all the boards.
Mm-hmm. Cool. There we go. That's
Okay.
inserted.
So, what I'm kind of thinking was that we need to do the same thing, but with board name here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
here should be
Yeah.
case.
That's
And
exactly what's. That's exactly what's in my mind.
right. But I also want to kind of focus on one of the things which is gonna be kind of like a callback. Oh, wait, sorry. Uh, So we are clear on how we are trying to do post note, right? Like, pretty sure we are on the
Mm-hmm.
same page on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just 1 second. Boy,
Cash, cash, cash. The
yeah,
good old cash.
it's not the best thing to clear your cache. Okay. So um, see how we have a function, like there's gonna be a bit of redundant code now, and it kind of comes back to when we were having this discussion, if you remember, that there was this thing going around relating to that we need to make another function which gets the board after passing the name of the board or get the board ID.
Mm-hmm.
So um how do I explain it? So we how do I explain it? So
just, I would it be easy if you just drew it or not?
yes and no as well, because okay,
Okay.
let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
um our post note and post board functions were
Yeah.
taking the uh,
IDs.
IDs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Instead of going ahead and changing one um, get board by name function, which returns the ID which we can append here, we are taking a path in which we are changing all the backend to take the name. You know what I mean? I'll explain again. Like, this is what my thoughts are.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
So I'll say that again. So for now, the path which we are taking to implement
Mm-hmm.
posting of any sort is
Mm-hmm.
to change the ID to name. Is that right? Like, we are changing
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
backend architecture.
Yeah.
But if you remember closely, I remember making a point when we were having this discussion that rather than doing this, we can just
Mm-hmm.
create a get board ID by the name of the board. You know what I mean? Like, if you pass the name of the board, it'll give you the ID of the board.
Yeah.
And so by this approach, like getting the ID, we don't have to go back and change the whole architecture to work with the board name. Are you on the same page?
So you how I've actually understood is that instead of changing the existing architecture, uh, from board ID to board name, we can just add or could have added or should add now an additional function that
Yeah,
actually takes in a board name and spits out the
board ID.
ID, and then our
We can append it
existing
here.
function can use. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, we can append it here. Like, we don't have to. So, what we kind of are doing right now is changing the architecture rather than which we could have solved it with one function. But um, then it comes down to what you said was that we'll be hitting the database more. Um, so now we need to kind of prioritize what's the better approach to do it. Like, on the one hand, we are changing a lot of functionality, probably all of the backend architecture, because instead of IDs, it's going to work on names. So essentially, all the functions are going to be changed. Or we can just create one simple function, which is get board ID by name, and we can keep appending to our existing functions.
Right, I get your point.
Yeah,
What you're trying to say now.
yeah. So
Um.
before we draw it, I guess we should. uh, see what
I've just
you
got
want to
one
try.
question.
Yep, I can't hear you. Oh,
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
I'm just putting together all my thoughts first,
Yeah, it's a bit hard.
because um. So what you're saying is, instead of changing the architecture, we
Yeah,
can just add one
function.
function,
Yeah,
but then we'll have to add more functions. So if so, the get board name won't be there for the get note as well. The note will have to have a separate function. So we're still adding functions on top of functions.
wait, I didn't get what you mean. Sorry.
Okay, so you know how you have said that back in time when we were having the discussion that we should add an additional function that spits out the board ID and
Yes.
takes a board, so takes in a board name but spits out the board ID, and
Yep.
it then it passes that board ID to our existing function that actually takes in the board ID. Are you with me?
Yeah, yeah. Like the like it passes the board ID to the controllers, which are like
Yeah,
getter load,
yeah. Mhm.
getter post.
Yeah. So, okay, say we have already done it in that approach for argument's sake. Okay.
Hmm.
Say we already have a getBoard ID function in the backend now. Okay.
Yep.
If we take that approach, that would mean that we can't use uh, that function for notes as well.
We can just use the same functionality and use the same function for nodes. Like this same approach for nodes. That's what I mean.
But it would be a kind for duplicate code then, isn't it?
I
As
mean,
in,
if we
not
can
really
figure out,
duplicate. Hmm.
if we can figure out a smart way to just like use one for loop and like, okay, here how it can happen. When we are starting to scan, we can assign whatever we are trying to scan, either the board name or the nodes in an array, and then we can loop through that array. That
Okay, so here we are actually violating single responsibility approach.
okay, then we can divide it into two functions. That won't cause any difference. Like we'll hit the database the same time. Even if we write it in two functions, we are still making less redundant code because writing the same functionality to get the board ID by name every time in every function on the backend, that's like redundant code for like at least 8 controllers.
So, can you repeat the last part? I lost you there.
Okay, even if we are doing that, um, all of our backend
Doing
works
what?
doing writing two separate functions, one for board, one for node.
Okay, based on the new approach. Okay.
Yeah, and we
Hmm.
probably have to do that. Like that's not a big deal. I guess that won't be considered repeated code. You have a get function for node and get function for board as well. So even if we are
Okay, okay. Continue.
yeah, even if we are doing that, it's way better than changing up all the 8 controllers. Um, and when these 8 controllers are changed, inside these 8 controllers, every time you are writing a method which is going to check where the board name is relating to the board ID, because board ID is still the primary key of the database.
Mhm.
So you're writing way more redundant code, and that too 8 times.
Right. Okay. So essentially, what we are trying to point out that if we change the existing architecture of the API, then that will result in more redundant code as compared to
Yeah,
if we just add two more functions.
yeah, because
And yeah, mhm,
yeah, because see, like the primary key of the board still remains the board ID. So
mhm.
every time you go in any function at all, you'll have to match the board name to the board ID regardless, whatever is going to happen. So
I think
you
you're
are,
making sense there.
yeah. So every time you're
Yeah.
going inside a controller, you are doing a for loop which matches the board name to the board ID. Because regardless, whatever happens, board ID is the primary key. So rather than writing that 8 times, you can just use two functions
hmm
to kind of get you the okay, here's the note ID in the middleware, and here's the board ID in the middleware, and then append it to the
Go and
URL.
fetch it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I see. Yeah. Let's do the second wave, which you've just said,
Yeah.
because yeah, I get the whole picture. There would be a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So instead of changing a functions, we can just call two functions in
Hmm.
orders
Yeah.
appropriately.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that actually makes much more sense now,
Do you
considering
wanna
the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you wanna try making a draw.io? Maybe you should try making it to see if we
yeah.
both have.
I'm gonna make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Cool.
1 second, I'll get some water.
Cool. No problem. So backhand.
I'm back.
Cool.
I have some exciting news about the merch as well.
Oh, nice. I
I
like it.
am just making a draft tonight, so probably will be released by tomorrow morning.
Brilliant. So, right. Okay, cool. So, does that include the online store or just the merch
Just
itself?
the merch. Just the
Cool.
merch.
Cool.
Hmm.
Good one, man. Because I've already got about, I think it would be one pre-order already.
Nice.
So, get put, delete, update, insert.
It'll be kind of cool when we stream while wearing our merch.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking when my green skin comes, I'm gonna change my background to have the roll coders
Oh
one as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That'd be epic.
Hmm. We can
Okay.
say like a custom background or something.
Yeah, exactly. Get board ID. Board ID.
And to all the people who didn't attend yesterday, we have a special guest coming in tomorrow, who is Sam Nolan. He's the president of the programming club at RMIT, so we're really excited to for him to be here as well.
Yeah, man, that would be fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Jason. Oh no, what did I do there? Okay, get note ID. Note ID. Okay. Methods. Backend methods. API methods. Okay, get board by ID. Delete board by ID. Get board ID. And pass in name. Um, board name,
Mhm.
and then this would have board note ID. No name. Clean note description, probably. Yeah. Note description, there we go. And there we go. Cool. Alright, so this is done there.
Hmm?
Get this one. And then in the middleware, we're gonna have other sprinkles.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
What did you say?
Other sprinkles.
Sprinkles? The thing which I'm eating?
Yeah.
Oh, chicken fingers.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is sprinkles? I don't know actually.
Pringles.
Oh no,
Pringles.
chicken fingers.
My
Chicken.
accent came in the way again. All right. So from here we would so we already have a get board name.
Yep.
Get board name. And now we need a get node description. Get node description. Okay, so now that this is done, how this is gonna work is, come on inside, go in.
Oh, wait, actually, I'm just thinking, what does great node description is doing?
So it's getting the note description. Well, maybe I should change the name.
Oh, like
How
it's
about
taking
this
the
now?
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But
Huh?
Can two different nodes have the same value? Same
Uh,
text?
no, I don't think they ever will. To be
Uh,
honest, I don't think they ever will.
right. I'm just thinking.
Because I think this would be an excellent test case.
Hmm.
Because I'm not really gonna insert the. So you know how every node has a different ID.
Yep.
Every node that's inserted will have a different ID.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're saying that would text and no text have the same one, it could be, but
Hmm.
that's when the IDs will come in place,
Yeah.
and we can put a validation that if there are two nodes with the same description, we can just delete one.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Cool. Okay, so this is there, this is the middleware. So what's going to happen is that we do a post,
Huh?
huh?
We do a post what? We do a get request.
No, I'm actually going. So I thought you wanted to change the post board logic as well now, or is that not the case?
Yes, but I think we should work on like creating the get functions, and then we can come back to changing the posting board logic.
Okay, cool. Right.
So I guess the first thing to implement would be creating a get board ID in the backend.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So okay, what I was going to do is finish up this diagram first
Yep.
because I don't want to leave this at this is at the moment because at the at the
Yeah.
moment it doesn't represent anything
Yeah.
as in
For sure.
how are these two components communicating with each other,
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
right? So say if we did get get bored, I actually am gonna stick it with this one and then with this one get bored and
Yep.
will post um fetch.
Isn't that a get?
So we are get board name, get board ID.
That's not posting anything to the database. That's just getting. So that's a fetch get.
Um, okay, I had to do a bit differently because that wasn't in my mind then. If that's what you're talking about, because for this to happen, they would probably change the post as well now with
Yes.
this logic. So
Or yeah, or we
mhm,
can leave the post as it is. Oh wait, we can't.
no, we can't leave this. So basically, would have to go again to the posting of the board functionality and adopt it in this way.
I guess right now we are on the classic stage when we want to prioritize kind of finishing the project, like finishing the part earlier or doing it right. And the finishing earlier thing would be to do it by name, or doing it right would be doing what we are trying to do right now.
Exactly. So, okay, if we plan to, so either way, we will have to come back to the post board. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Either way, if we do it in this new way, we will have to come. So it's up to us that if we want to start from there or go through the others first, as in no text and everything, and
Yeah.
then at the end come back and change the functionality of the old functionality and convert it to a new one. So either way, at the start or at the end, which
Hmm.
one would you prefer?
I mean, if it's the same amount of work, better do what's right now, um, rather than just like get it out of the way. What do you say?
Yes, exactly. So I would say go back to the post one,
Hmm.
post board, and change that to our first approach, to our new approach, because
Which is kind of our old approach as well, just taking it by that.
exactly, yeah,
So I think we have
exactly.
previous version of our codes. So if it all,
Yes, we can just copy and paste it, and
yeah,
all we would need to do is implement this
yeah,
function. That's all.
yeah, and these are just getters, so won't be hard.
Yeah,
To,
yeah. Okay, cool. So the plan is to go back to the post, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay,
After
cool.
creating the getter functions. But
Okay. What do you mean by that? After creating
um,
the get functions.
by that I mean in the API,
Yeah.
first we need to create the get board by ID. Then only anything would work.
Yes. Yes. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Um. So we don't really need get board by ID for the posting of the board, or do
Yes.
we?
No, we don't.
Ex- exactly. So what we can do? Oh, this is too much brain involved here. I like it. All right.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just okay.
Wait, then why do we have to? Oh wait. Oh, now I know why. Wait, we don't have to come back to post, do we? Post is just um, writing the endpoint slash prod slash board and putting in the board name in the body. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to come back to post board name.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. Because posting of the board doesn't require
Any sort of
using the uh, ID to do that. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. So, but we do need to change this. So I'll do this one. Get request.
right?
Actually, get request. Okay, and then that one goes there, and then this one. Yeah, that's fine. And then
Mhm.
what I can do is I can do this part. get board ID. There we go.
Yeah. Wait,
Uh-huh.
why is get board ID calling get board by ID? Why do we need to return the whole board?
Because this is okay from the front end. We will receive the board name only. Okay.
Yeah.
Then this get board ID will take in the board name,
Hmm.
and then it will return the board ID of that corresponding board, and then this board ID that's returned, that will be passed into the get board ID to be used in the URL.
Yes,
Or
but it won't be parsed from the backend. It will be passed from the front end. So when the get board returns the ID, it just goes back. It does not go to get board.
go back to your actually, because this is what you right.
Right now, what we're doing is completely different. We are using it for every controller, not for just get board.
Wow. To be honest, I really don't agree
Yeah,
with
this
this
is getting
approach. Yeah,
like
I don't agree with that.
sorry.
I don't agree with as in hitting the database for one thing and then coming back to the front end and then going to the other method and then going back to the database again and then
Mhm.
coming back.
Right, but then what? Go back to the diagram in Router.io. What you are doing is just getting the board by ID, right? But if you need the board ID to post a, note, then you need a board ID as well.
Hang on. Okay. Try not to come to this part yet. Because I think you're jumping from this part to this part and then going back to this part.
All right, like even if we don't go there, it's just a fundamental thing that at some point in the middleware, we would require the board ID to come back and then be called to another function.
Okay, so what? Okay, so what? According to you, what will this function do?
Um, this function would be inside other functions like post board, not post board, like post note or get board by ID, to just get the board ID.
Will this be one of the fetch requests?
Yes, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, according to you, what does this function do then?
Just takes in the value and returns the board ID.
Exactly. Okay. So, so you wanna return this board ID
Yeah,
back here?
yeah, because it'll be used by multiple controllers for different purposes, not just to get the board. It would be used by delete board as well, or post note as well.
So then, okay, hang on a minute now. Return that one, go
Yeah.
back, and then say we have got delete board and all those things.
Yeah.
Then we can use this ID on all these methods here as well.
Yeah, and to just append them
Once
in the URL. That's it. Because
append them, yeah, and then we send the request again to the backend to do the actual action. Is it?
yeah. But if you feel that approach is wrong in any way, we can always go back to doing it by name. But then we'll have a lot of redundant code.
Okay. Let's just do it in your way because I kind of understand it where you where you're coming from, but I kind of disagree that we should go back, use it, and then go back again. But I wanna see the implementation of it in your way
Right.
in your way as well. So let's stick to your way and yeah.
Before we kind of go ahead, so
Yeah.
right now we are clear. Here's it how it's gonna work. Can you
Okay,
see?
cool.
Can you see me?
I can't. Yeah. Right.
Right. Okay. So here's it how it's gonna work. This is the middleware, and this is the backend.
Uh-huh.
Middleware has a function which is get board ID by name. Goes to the backend, comes back. Right? What? I'm just explaining, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you the approach.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll try to tell you an approach by which we might not have to come back to the backend. And
Okay.
the approach which I'm gonna tell you I feel like it'll be pretty good.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure that we are on the same stage on the current approach, which is
Sure.
get board by ID, going to the backend and coming back with the ID, where we append it to all the controllers, like delete or get
Yeah.
or note.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for now. Or okay, hear me out. Here it is. When we are calling get board to the backend, in the body we can specify an action.
Can you repeat the last part again?
Yeah, sure. Let's take one example. Delete a board.
Yeah.
Okay. So this middleware has the value of the board. Sorry, the value, right? And like the board name, sorry. And in the JSON as well, it has another thing called action. Okay?
Yeah.
And action could be like delete, get.
Yeah.
Delete or get.
Okay. Yeah.
So with this action thing, it goes to the backend. In the backend, you check what is the action. Either it's delete or it's get, or even if it's something like post, whatever it is, the action is. And it see what the action is and does the thing relating to the action in the backend only. And if you need to get a response, it comes back, or just like you're in the backend only once by using something called action.
Right.
We don't have to come to any conclusion today. We can give it a thought tonight.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, but I think the what you're saying would make sense though.
Yeah, but I guess we need to give it a lot more thought when it comes down to implementation, because one loophole I found while explaining it to you was would the method return something to response, because in the get case you will have a response, but in the delete case, in the delete case you will also have a response. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we can give it a thought.
That's fun. Let's think about it, and we'll come back tomorrow with a decision, and just finalize the thing, the
Yeah,
uh, the diagram. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Cool.
D4D asks, what do you mean by middleware? Middleware is kind of a connection between the front end and the back end. Um, for our middleware, we are using a fetch API approach, which means the front end is able to access the back end controllers. So, yeah, and also welcome back, D4D. Yeah, I guess if we are on the same page, that we both understand the trivial way of all three approaches which we have right now, um, then we can kind of take it from there. Like, do you think do you like we have any issue with any of the approaches in understanding them?
I don't think so, because yeah, we're probably on the same page, but yeah, I didn't think that as in designing and then implementation would require this much thought, but it does, to be honest.
And I guess
Yeah.
that's the key to making good software.
Exactly, as in good decisions, but a bit of tweaks here and there would make sense along the way, but
Yeah,
not like changing the entire architecture.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
D4D
cool.
asked something like
Um,
actions. Yes, you can say fetch is something like actions, I guess. Yeah, I would say that. Um, yeah, it's pretty much the same actually. All right. Cool. Thanks guys for joining in. We have a special guest tomorrow, so don't forget to tune in at 9:30 sharp tomorrow. Um, as Sam Nolan joins us, and yeah, I guess we'll come back to with our thoughts and what we thought about it, about the discussion, and see you guys tomorrow.
Perfect. See you guys tomorrow, and take care. Have a good night.
Good
Thanks,
night.
guys. Cheers. Bye.